an absolute genius with a cue in his hand. He finished off this afternoon with 2 sublime centuries. He is without doubt the sport's biggest draw. If he wins this title, it will surely rank as one of snooker's all-time great performances. Can he do what so many said was impossible? He's the defending champion. Blink and you'll miss him. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Fantastic reception for both men once again here. You know, many people felt that this is Ronnie's to lose this final, but so far it's a proper contest. It's not a coronation. 9 more frames to play this evening. The winning target 18, and it's former UK champion John Virgo and the 1985 champion of the world Dennis Taylor, who are in the hot seats tonight. Good evening, gentlemen.
Very good evening, Hazel, and a very good evening to everyone watching.
Frame 9. That'll do, lads. Thank you. Frame 9.
What an atmosphere. Ronnie gets this first frame of the evening session underway, and well, JB, this crucible crowd, most of them are on their feet for that introduction. It sends, you know, shivers down you, doesn't it?
Well, it gives me tingles, Dennis. So how the players are supposed to react for the first few shots, and of course that's the ultimate. That's what you practice hard for, 6 hours a day, so you can come out in this arena and hopefully produce that form under the utmost pressure.
There's the average frame time, just under 13.5 minutes, so they're not hanging about. And I'm delighted for Barry Hawkins the way he played. He lost the first 2 frames and he came back with a break of 88, 81, and look at the pot success rate there. Was both players in the 90s. There's the highest break from Ronnie. Knocked a few of these long ones in his semi-final. He hasn't quite got his long potting boots on just yet.
Barry just having a look at the possibility, I think, of a 3-ball plant to the left corner. He'll be thinking about getting the cue ball back to the ball cushion, but is it a plant? Not quite. And a little bit pacey on the safety.
Yeah, a bit of a tester for Ronnie. If he takes that red on to the left of the blue. Could play it in such a way. He's had a look to see what he would leave. He could play it to leave himself on the blue. So let's see if he can knock this long one in. No. Now where's that red going to finish? Just about okay. They can get it into the head, John, about the cloth being a little bit slower, but I mean the breaks they made. I mean, it's amazing. The table might be playing a little bit slower, but Ronnie's had back-to-back centuries, 2 70s, a 90-odd. Barry's had 2 80s and then 1 frame of 45 and a 50. Unbelievable standard.
Good shot, played it confidently. Now the question is, can he get through to the black? He can, just. Good shot. a chance. Just what he needed. First frame of the evening.
8.
Get his hand on the table and start potting some balls.
Nine.
It's a little bit careless there.
There's the family, the Hawkins family. The dad
15.
just hiding behind there. Steve and Mum Caroline there. They must be so proud, and his sister in the middle there. I mean, this is fantastic for them.
16.
And wouldn't they like to see Barry get off to a good start? And he's got the chance now.
Yes, I thought it was a bit careless not getting on the red, but he was able to hold it. I mean, this is the one thing about the table playing a little bit slower. I feel you've got more control. I think sometimes the tables can get too quick.
Good point, JV, because I played Stephen Hendry yesterday. The match finished early. We had 3 frames on it, and the cloth was flying.
21.
And I think it's better for the players, and the breaks has proven it. If it's not quite as fast,
Just gone a little bit awkward. If it had been straight on this red, he'd been able to run through for the black in the opposite corner, but he's got to try and get up for the blue. So he's just got to be careful with the path of the cue ball.
well, he got plenty of action on that. So, okay, it's not the correct side of the blue, but played this with the reverse side, so it looks to have plenty of life in it, this cloth. Let's have a look at this. Look at that follow through. What a great shot that is, showing you the screw back.
That's a poor shot to catch a baulk colour. At this level,
27.
he'll be very disappointed with that. Probably caused by the blue not going in the middle of the pocket, but nevertheless, he'll be very disappointed.
Barry Hawkins. 27.
So the break comes to a premature end, and he's not finished with the best of safety. Give himself a chance there. He'll be disappointed he didn't score more.
Not quite hard enough, but pretty good. Have a look at this screw shot here. Look where he strikes down, and look the follow through. That's what creates the backspin, and that's what you got to do. Mind you, if you haven't got a good tip on your cue, you could rip the old cloth on the club table. Need to be careful when playing that. Bit too thin. The green and brown are the target to try and get in behind, and it's whoever gets a telling safety that will gain the advantage. And this might just be it. Oh, fractions out. It's still rather awkward. Can't take the pot on because of being hampered with the green.
Well, taking those things into consideration, what a tremendous shot that was from Barry Hawkins. Superb.
It's so easy to get a little bit of unwanted side when you're striking over a ball like that, and he cued that beautifully, as John said. That is such a difficult shot there, to hit the red that thin. Acknowledged by Barry, tapped the table. To judge that, John, it's such a difficult shot, isn't it?
Well, he's just so good in all departments, isn't he? You know, when we talk about the greatest players of all time, you know, he's always going to be up there because of his break building and his safety. That was an excellent shot from Barry, but one safety shot isn't going to force an opening necessarily. He needs another good safety, and this looks like one. This looks very good to me. That's very good.
Well, he's won that tactical battle. I said the first player to get in behind the green was going to gain the advantage. I don't know if he can just nestle on the 4 reds that are to the left of the black spot area near the cushion. I think he has. He's just about perfect here. Great to see all those breaks we talked about in the first session, but it's also very entertaining to watch this tactical battle.
Yes, and every frame is important for Barry. I know a lot of people were writing him off at the start of this final. If only sport was that easy to predict. But he needs to stay with Ronnie. And if he could somehow win this first frame, that would be another boost to his growing confidence. But you've got to work so hard for your chances with Ronnie. And the red in the middle of the table, just to the left of the pink spot, is possible. To the right corner.
And there's a path round the black if he takes that pot on. Yeah, didn't get the pot, but he got the path.
Well, he went for the pot, but the one thing he had to do was avoid that red on the right-hand side of the table. He'd be very disappointed with that. Okay, go for the pot, but don't kiss that red. Left Ronnie a comfortable starter.
Well then, we've seen Ronnie miss very little, but that will annoy him there. That could be quite a telling miss. Now that certainly makes things very interesting, especially if Barry can take advantage. He's already 27 in front. There's 4 or 5 reds available.
Well, didn't want to play for the black because the black is in such a position at the moment. If he potted it, it would get tied up, but he could have been better on the blue than this. Deciding on the pink. It's handy to have the pink back on its spot. As I say, he's a little bit worried about potting the black because the black could get tied up and also tie up a few of the reds. He may have not much option here. He's not got perfect on this red, so he may have to play for the black here. It'd certainly be the easier colour to get on. Well, decided to play up for the pink.
8.
And played it well. That's a good shot. Run through now for the open red to the opposite corner.
Dead straight on this red would be better, but even if he's got a slight angle,
14.
he might be able to nudge those two reds away from the black spot area and still stay on the black. He's got the red up near the yellow if he can't hold position. It just depends how he feels, whether he wants to risk that. He may not want to do that. Yep, don't blame him for that.
15.
Although, looking at the angle he's finished on the pink, are there any of those reds available into the left corner pocket? Or does he have to force it back across the table? Forced it back across the table, and he made a pretty good job of it. Now he can clear the black spot area.
21.
He can pot this red, nudge the other one out of the way, and the black spot will be clear.
22.
Well, I didn't open them too much. Just sent them into a worse position, really. Oh, well. Trying to...
Barry Hawkins,
How many
22.
times do we see it? How many times have we seen it in this championship?
Touch and ball.
Players sacrificing the pot for position. Just concentrating on the cannon. You've got to pot the ball on.
This red's hampering his cueing slightly. That's difficult. That was always difficult. There's just a couple of signs that Ronnie's lost a little bit of focus here, and we've seen very little of that in this year's World Championship. I think he's missed more in this opening frame of this session than we've seen, you know, and some of the whole of his session.
Well, it's a great opportunity now for Barry to clinch this frame. 57 points the lead. So, red colour red. And that
9.
would be enough. Could have done with coming a little bit further down on this black, but there is a red that's available into the same pocket as the black, and that's all he'll need. And played it well. So this red will put him
16.
66 points in front with just 59 remaining. Well played.
17.
Okay, he was a little bit fortunate when he missed the pink, but he left Ronnie O'Sullivan very awkward cueing. I think that's why Ronnie missed the red. But sometimes you need a bit of luck along the way.
24.
Will Ronnie stay in his seat? He just signals to referee, and Verhaas concedes the frame. The best possible start for Barry Hawkins. He draws just one frame behind. What a match. It's now 5.
And
So it's Barry Hawkins who breaks off and left the obligatory three-quarter ball red to the corner. But Ronnie not even looking at it. But when he's playing safe, he's got to avoid a kiss on that red. Bit pacey.
Yeah, I think everybody was thinking along the lines that Stephen Hendry was, but Ronnie, as you can see, first frame, he's missed 4 pots that he didn't look like missing throughout this year's championship. So Barry's a different player now than he was in the semi-final. Look at this, he's got his form right back. And I think he's really enjoying this final, JV, because he did look very tense against Ricky Walden. Ricky, to be fair, should have put that semi-final to bed, but now Barry's back at his best.
Yes, I think Stephen makes a very valid point that he's probably come... Well, he freely admitted he'd come into this final with nothing to lose. He was determined to enjoy it. And at the moment, that's exactly what he's doing.
9.
But he knows, as we all know, that one slip and he's playing an opponent who will take every advantage of it. But it was a good opening red, and he's in and around the black spot area. This is where players
16.
of this quality usually score the heaviest.
70.
And he's almost up equal with Ronnie, just 1% behind now in the pot success department. 92 each now. Needed a little bit more action on that. He's still got the one to the corner, but if he gets a little bit more screw on that, it comes back and he leaves the straight red to get on the black. Yeah, what you said there about Ronnie, I mean, when Barry led 3-2 in less than half an hour, he was 5-3 behind.
Foul.
Oh, he's fouled it anyway.
Barry Hawkins, 24.
Barry called the foul as Jan called the foul, so we keep saying it, but we are so proud in our game that the players call fouls on themselves. Let's have a look. Just caught the red with a Q, was it? Yeah.
Yes, and when Ronnie came to the table, a little tap on the table in appreciation of that sportsmanship. As you say, we expect it, but it's always nice to see. So there you go. Ronnie O'Sullivan hasn't potted a ball for over 22 minutes.
And he's not faced with the easiest of pots here. It was worth waiting on. And now the chance is there for Ronnie. You watch, yeah, he's just pointed straight away to the fact that he touched the red. You can see there's still a red at the back and to the right of the bounce that's available. I'm sure he played to leave an angle there to go into the pink and reds. He still might be able to do it, but it looks a bit on the thin side. Should be okay. But he hasn't had a favourable kiss there.
12.
Could have been better. This is a thin one he's faced with. He couldn't go into it with too much power because of the angle he had there. No, overcut it.
Well, that's not often that Ronnie doesn't make the most of those opportunities, but no matter who you are, no matter how good you are, when you run into the reds, you always need a little bit of luck. And he looked to have played this well to me. Hit the pink full in the face. If he had it over, He'd probably play with just a tad more pace, but he didn't know what that was going to be.
This is what he can play. He can take a pot at that and get round the table. He couldn't risk leaving himself short on the baulk colours because it was a difficult pot, but these are all confidence boosters for Barry Hawkins. It's so difficult to roll up tight, and especially with the red, the right side of the table. You can see he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I think the green's got to be the roll-up ball. I can't see the advantage of rolling up to the yellow. I mean, that is the one red he's got to cover. The red on the right-hand side of the table. Otherwise, he leaves an easy safety shot for Ronnie. Well, in the end, decided not to play the roll-up. Oh, and that's unlucky. You could never, ever have foreseen that. He's played the green, trying to get back to the baulk. The green's hit the black's hit the red. And now, an easy starter. Unbelievable.
Played that like a trick shot. Lots of topspin. But the black is difficult. He's had a look at it. He's not that keen on it. But he played that with topspin and got a terrific reaction. He's looking at the pink also here. Now, what a shot this will be. Pink up into the corner, screw in behind the red that's near the cushion. Brilliant.
But doesn't that just show you, Dennis, when people say to us, and we see lots of people saying, oh, them pockets are easy. Even the great Ronnie O'Sullivan didn't want to risk the black. He'd rather play the very difficult pink, in all honesty. He'll play for the black this time, though, but he'll hope to be closer to it.
8.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to power this in because there's a red available to the right middle, so he can just drop it in and the pocket will accept the ball. Okay, playing them like that. When you start forcing them, difficult. Good chance now.
15.
Still
16.
One more red available at the back of that little bunch near the pink spot.
Yeah, and I think those two reds just to the right of the green or above the green. I think certainly the top one of them is available into the left middle. So as he pots
22.
one, he'll make another one available. So this is an excellent opportunity. Just nudging him out, and once again he's so good at that shot, judging how the cue ball comes off the second ball. This game has always been about cue ball control, and you won't see a better exponent than Ronnie O'Sullivan.
He looks to be back in the zone, so to speak, John. Just seemed to lose it. We showed them 4 pots he missed, but I think he's put them firmly behind him.
Yeah, I think if they were easy pots, one of them was, maybe. But the last one he missed. But Barry there,
36.
he's just guilty, maybe, of just trying to overcomplicate that easy safety shot,
37.
to me. Trying to send the green and get tight to the baulk cushion. Okay, it was unlucky for the green to hit the black, for the black to hit the red. But that can happen.
Just a little awkward here. He's going to tuck his waistcoat in because he's having to bridge over that red. He's got to be careful. Jan Verhaas is keeping a close eye on that. So he's just seeing what would happen when he delivered the cue, if he might just catch the red. I suppose he could take his waistcoat off if he wanted to play it. There's nothing.
Well, funny enough, I don't think he's that close to it, really. He just feels as though he is. He only needs this pink, one more red in the colour. But when you get down over a shot like that, the worst thing in the world is to hear the referee go, foul.
43.
It's happened to Ronnie in the semi-final. He fouled one similar to that.
44.
But this is a good response from Ronnie.
Just
Barry,
the blue needed.
Yeah, just going to say Barry posed the question and Ronnie's come up with the answer.
49.
Not much you can do with this. You'll just be playing the safety. Well, he's doubled the red, has he?
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Not quite.
49.
But he's played an excellent safety shot. He gets back to his feet. 40 points to lead. Just 35 remaining. 2 snookers needed. And hard to get when you snookered yourself. Good hit. Does this red pass the yellow? May do. The red's the frame clincher, there's no doubt about that. But Ronnie will be wary, he doesn't want to leave an easy red on. So he decided to play safe. And if he misses the pink, it'll be a good one. Well, he didn't miss the pink. But it's not easy for Barry. Hampered by the black. Otherwise, I think he'd take this pot on.
Barry staying there to see if he's got the snooker. Not quite.
Thank you, Ronnie.
He needs 2 snookers at the moment, but if he could get the snooker and a free ball, that would be all he would need. Could get away with having 1 snooker, but the balls are nicely placed for snookers, so Ronnie will be well aware of that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where, as you say, but the way the reds are, I think if you could pot the red and pot the black, then get up in the balk area, you could play a nice snooker behind the brown. He looks to have played this nice. It's a good line, but it's a bit slow.
Good snooker. I think a lot of people thought Ronnie was going to take the pot on there.
Well, he's hit it, but he's left it. And that will be the end of the frame. So Ronnie will just pot the red. Well, can you believe that he can do that when he knows that all he needs is the red, and he could be snookered next time he comes to the table? Careless error, this.
Well, why was he trying to screw over onto the black? He just had to just drop the red in. Now that's a loss of focus from Ronnie. And he's faced with quite a difficult snooker now.
Well, when you consider how he was playing it, playing a good, safe game, there's room round this red.
And there's plenty of room round the back of it, John, as you said. And he's gone round the back of the red.
Barry Hawkins 4.
Tell you what a turning point this could be in the match.
No miscall, of course, because we're in the snooker's required stage, and that's why Ronnie played it so slow. He thought, well, if I miss it, I don't want to leave a free ball. But could that easy misread come back to haunt him?
There's the old saying, John, the balls never forgive you, and he's snookered. It's easy to escape from it off the back cushion here.
Now, Barry having a look at the scoreboard. He's 36 points behind. There's just 35 remaining. But he may consider, if he pots the red and tries to get on the high value colour, that's what he's decided to do. So even the blue will only leave him one snooker. He can't play the brown because it'd be one snooker to tie. He's got to pot the blue.
And possibly pot the yellow where the green is. He could then get the snooker behind the pink. So, if he gets a nice angle on this yellow, he can pot it. And if he could get up past the green, he could have a great chance of the snooker. If he could get the white somewhere near the circle or just to the right of it, he'd be absolutely perfect. Needs to bounce quite a bit so that he can get a bit of screw on it. It's slightly more difficult now, but he still could get in behind the pink. Oh, he didn't hit that well. He turned away straight away, didn't he?
Barry Hawkins.
He just didn't get through the ball there, John.
No, but as you say, Dennis, he needed to be further away from the cushion, didn't he? It was just striking down like that, and you can just got to hit them a bit crisper, and he's left his screen on. I'll be very relieved, Ronnie O'Sullivan, if he knocks this in. Where's the cue ball going?
Ooh, settle down, JV, settle down.
Well, I think even Ronnie thought it was going to go in then. Anyway, it didn't. He's now 31 points in front with 22 remaining. And that just underlines that the frame is now over. Barry Hawkins had a chance. Well, Ronnie's not bothered about the black, but he had a bit of a scare there. Barry Hawkins had half a chance to lay that second snooker, but he didn't get it. And Ronnie O'Sullivan goes 2 frames ahead again at 6-4.
Well, it's fascinating cat and mouse stuff, you've got to say, so far. John and Steve, I've obviously had a big chat with Steve, and there's obviously a lot of jealousy in the studio here. Tell me about the pressure that Ronnie is under, because probably to every man and woman in the country, they think he is a certainty to win this. What sort of weight of expectation is that to cope with?
Well, it can be. It can be a fantastic weight to sort of overcome. Ronnie doesn't usually succumb to that, but you know, you don't know what's going through his mind throughout the frames. We're all susceptible to that type of thing. I don't know about you, John, but I mean, I did feel it sometimes when I was here, and it can make you really sort of like quite touchy. You know, it can make you short-tempered, certainly can. And when it's all over, of course, you're magnanimous if you beat the guy, but not a nice feeling sometimes.
What's your view on it, JP?
Well, modesty forbids him saying it, but most of the finals he'd have been playing in, he'd have been a strong favourite to be in it. He couldn't say that himself. As much as that piece this afternoon, he meant every single word of it, by the way, and loved it being the king of the 80s. But no, he'd have been favourite most of them, so he would be well qualified to know that. I actually think, going back to this frame we've just seen, he's missed a massive trick there, Barry Hawkins. If he'd have stunned that green behind the pink there, he had him a right load of trouble.
He has indeed. Stephen, as we go back, how did you cope with favouritism? Because you obviously were in a similar situation. Did it weigh upon you?
I had one final against Nigel Bond, and I was the strong favourite to beat him. And the first couple of sessions, I really struggled to get my focus together. I managed to get it in the second day, but it's quite tough. It's quite tough.
Okay, well, Ronnie there, just He's got the file out. He had that in the first session as well, just making sure that the tip is on properly.
Do you think it's big enough? The file?
I shall make no further comment. Back we go.
Thanks, Hazel. Yeah, I said earlier when he was filing the tip that Ray Reardon gave him a little pocket file. When Ray was working with him, Ray used to always carry a little pocket file around. You wouldn't get that file in your pocket. That's a beauty, that file. Oh, I thought he'd missed that. Well, how thin. Well, Barry's smiling away there. He's one of the nicest lads you could ever wish to meet. And, I mean, this is dreamland, really, to get through to his final. And he's got a good sense of humour and had a little smile about that. I mean, to be here playing in the final of the World Championship, it's every snooker player's ambition. Where is the cue ball going? It's okay.
One.
But has he got an angle on the yellow? Is there a red available? Will he take the risk if he's got the angle? He's got the angle where he's pointing the cue, JV.
Yes, it was an excellent pot, as you can see, just off straight. Just got to be careful with these, though. You don't try and pinch a bit of the pocket, because if you play it with any kind of pace, you could miss the yellow. This isn't a certainty. That's the problem, playing at pace into those middle pockets.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, what?
Well, I don't know whether he's been lucky here, because there's two reds just above the black available into the left corner. Once again, looking back at that yellow, just trying to force the angle. It's a dangerous thing to do.
I think that's the first time I've seen Ronnie not deliver the cue in a straight line. From that last picture, I detected his back arm just coming out a little bit. Very rarely would you see that. Nicely cued. Now just have a look at this when he delivers the cue. Yeah, dropped his elbow. Very rarely do you see that. And that was the result.
Well, Barry's lost the pink. The pink spot's
Seven.
not available. Highest available is the yellow spot. But needless to say, these are the opportunities. He's got to punish Ronnie's mistakes. There won't be that many. So you've got to make the most of these as we give you the full view of this wonderful arena. And the original promoter, Mike Watterson, it was his lovely wife, Carol, who's sadly no longer with us, who came here
13.
in about 1976 to watch a play, and she came back and she said to him, "I've just seen the Crucible Theatre and it's made for snooker." And the World Championship, that trophy you've held, Dennis, you couldn't have a better venue.
14.
Yeah, Mike told us that the first time they came, they thought it wasn't quite big enough, and somehow they managed to just get a little extra foot or so that they could get the two tables in, and that's what every snooker player dreams of, holding above their head.
Yeah, nicely played. He wasn't perfect on the blue, but he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball.
19.
If he'd have had the right angle, he'd have loved to have been on the red that's just above the black to maybe bring the black into play. Can he get nice side of the blue this time?
20.
Well, just about got the angle. Maybe you can force it down for this red immediately above the black.
He'd have to be so precise. He's got the angle to do it, but he'd have to be so precise to play the shot that John said. He'd have to get the cue ball somewhere near the circle to pop that red above the black and cannon the other one away. Let's see how it turns out. No, can't do it from there. You'll have to play back for the blue. So
25.
and now the key shot coming up. He's got to go into that little triangle of reds, hit the one in front of it. He may do it off a couple of cushions. Here it comes. It's not bad. He can open the bunch off the next shot.
31.
Might be able to screw back as we show you that move. The reds might be able to screw back, but can he use the bunch and open them up? He can. And he's played
52.
it very nicely. He's a little bit unlucky. I think the four reds are still all covering each other.
Tried to get past that red, but running into it as he did.
37.
Let's end a break. Just a safety shot now.
He was unlucky with the split, wasn't he, that those four reds all remain behind the pink spot and are not available. This was the split off two cushions, and those four just remained intact and not available.
Barry Hawkins.
As he was playing that, I thought, I don't like the look of this shot. You've got to hit that shot so thin to avoid the middle pocket. He just caught it a fraction too full. He only just missed the cluster of reds. But the middle pocket, well, it's always there.
Thanks.
Well, Ronnie has played this, but he's not going to have a good angle on the black here. He wanted an angle where he could go into this little cluster of four. The right-hand side of them does go into the far right corner. May have to just play for that, or is he trying to run round of two cushions? He's trying, but it was difficult. And now, will he take on this tricky red down the cushion? Be a brave shot if he did.
Immediately he's looking at the twice across safety shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
I thought it was a very interesting interview that Ronnie gave after his victory over Judd Trump, when Rob Walker asked him about the final. He said, well, I'll try and enjoy it, he said, but there's so much pressure out there that it's very hard to enjoy. And I think everybody assumes, because he's a big odds-on favourite, that there's no pressure on Ronnie. There's plenty.
Well, the one person that can put pressure on Ronnie is Barry Hawkins, and he's doing very well against the defending champion. He's enjoying this final, that's for sure. He's gone ahead in the pot success rate by 1%. That's amazing, and he's behind in frames. Always flicked a red over the corner pocket, and there's a path through to it, is there? There is. Long pot success rate. Barry way ahead of Ronnie. Difficult to control this, but a little thin one. He's bound to finish on a colour, you'd think. Probably blue or pink. Needs to keep rolling. If he stops short of the balk line, he's not on anything. And that seemed to just turn a little bit, that baffled Barry, just at the last, yeah, it just seemed to drift towards the green. Let's have a look at this. Just watch the white as it just at the end just nestled onto the green. Can you see enough of the blue? I don't think he can, John. He snookered on that blue.
Barry Hawkins.
Bit thin on that. And he's left a possible pot on to the right corner. Barry has a 29-point lead. If he could knock this in, it could be a frame winner.
That's a very good long pot from Barry. He's a little bit closer to the cushion than he would have liked, but he doesn't have much to do with the cue ball. There are a couple of reds available to him. Perfectly played. Great chance now. We'll just show you this long opening red. Terrific cueing.
7.
With this black, we'll put him 43 points in front, so another red and a black would be more than enough.
I'll
just change that as he looks at the scoreboard. He needs one more red. This will put him 51 points in front with 51 remaining, so he'll need one more
15.
red. And there is a red that's open. All he's got to do is get some kind of position on that red to be over the line. That's okay. I think being left-handed, he can reach this easy. There you see, 51 ahead, 51 remaining. Just this red required.
Where's the white? It needs to pull up. It needs to pull up. It needs... Well, it's half in the pocket. Have a look at that. If you look down the cushion as Barry smiles, it's, well, it's almost in the pocket. Half of the white's in the pocket. Look at that.
$23 and a frame.
Ronnie stays in his seat. So Barry Hawkins is not going away. He's putting up a great performance, and doesn't his family enjoy that? He's now just one frame behind. That's 6-5. Well, one of the best seasons of his life, and I hope you noted, he's from Ditton
in Kent, and he wants us to be aware of that. He used to introduce him as from Dartford, but
Thanks.
it's Ditton.
Thank you.
So
Frame
here's the
12.
last frame before the mid-session
Hawkins to
interval.
break.
He started this session 2 frames behind. Can he level? It'll be a mini victory to take 3 of the first 4 frames.
That's what you set your target for, 3 of the 4 frames. So, as John said, it would be a mini victory. Another way you used to look at it, if you got 2 frames ahead, you think to yourself, if I keep sharing the sessions, I'll get over the winning line. But it's not that easy. A lot can happen in between.
Yeah, good safety. The safety play at the start of this match has been a lot better than it was in the semi-final, where he seems to be catching everything too thick. Good reply from Ronnie. They're not easy. Having to play that with a lot of left-hand side just to straighten up the cue ball to avoid the double kiss. Played it well.
Barry just playing that plain ball, but that last shot that Ronnie played, he had to hit it with so much side. In fact, with playing with that amount of side, you're having to really play to sort of miss the red and allow the side to pull it into the red.
The flick on the yellow helped. Just at first glance, I can't see a straightforward run back to the baulk line. If you had a choice, you'd like to go safety down the right-hand side as we look, but that doesn't seem an option. I'll look from Barry's point of view. So there's no, from his point of view, no way to go down the left-hand side. He can hit comfortably these 2 reds near the cushion, and he can hit the main bunch of reds, but no path back to baulk, so he's in a little spot of bother here.
That's the only way he could get, but look how close he'd have to go to the red, so he won't be trying that. That's far too risky. Oh, we might have left a chance here. Ronnie might be able to run this red into the right middle pocket, finish on the black. He'll have a look to see what he would leave. He's just pointing the tip of the cue to see what he would leave if he risks this. And you know what Ronnie's like, half a chance, he'll take it on. Is it there? Is it in? It is.
Yeah, and it was all down to the good safety that stopped Barry being able to get back to baulk. Just misjudged at a fraction, but it's fractions that can make all the difference.
8.
This is a big frame for Barry, I felt, going that mid-session interval, all square.
9.
Will he get the chance now?
He's got an angle to cannon into that little bunch of reds, but he's a bit reluctant. It could go wrong. still plays it, and he's perfect.
16.
Never misses a chance, and that little cannon just put him in the perfect position. Oh, that's ran a little bit too far. I think he's just okay.
24.
Can cue to the side of it.
Yes, the frames are very important, obviously, and that's the priority, putting the frames on the scoreboard. But at the moment, it's 4 reds, and this is a 4th black. Nothing would surprise you with Ronnie O'Sullivan.
32. 33.
Didn't finish nice. Just a slight angle, so not easy to control the cue ball. Had to power it in. It's not bad. It's one of those funny little angles back into the corner pocket where you can't see the pocket in your eye line. He's on the black again. Well, you know what he's got his thoughts on here. He's done it 11 times. He's made a maximum break. The same as the gentleman sitting in the studio. Stephen Hendry's made 11 maximums. Is
48.
he on the red? Has he come up short? That smile tells me he has. Make no mistake, he was looking for all blacks. He's going to try and bend this, you know. He can't pot that without bending it. And I don't blame him for taking it on, but he should have just took a little more time on it. He was after the maximum there, John. But we always said try and secure the frame first of all.
Well, playing that risky red, Ronnie didn't leave anything, so now he's just got this 48-point lead to protect. Good hit, left nothing, that was the main objective. Just while Barry's doing this, big thank you for Sheila from Dronfield. She sends us the scones every year. Did you get one, Dennis?
Just the one, JV. Thank you very much. How was the other half dozen that you had?
I don't know. They disappeared very quickly. I don't know who was eating them. I was looking at Willie Thorne at one time.
Then settle down, please, now. Thank you.
Beautifully judged again. That red is a little bit of insurance for Ronnie, the one on the side cushion. Three reds that are safe behind the black eventually can be brought into play with a safety shot from Barry, but Ronnie won't mind if he can knock another red safe here. I don't think the plant's on there if he was to cut it thin. Well, I say I don't think the plant is on. He's on it. And the kiss on the blue has left him on the green and possibly the pink. Oh, it went in off the other red. Did he have a look at that, or was it a bit of good fortune?
Yeah, deciding to play this left-handed. He missed an easy frame ball not long ago, left-handed. But no problem with that one. Needs to run a bit. He's okay. That's inch perfect. And already with a 55-point lead. Surely end of frame.
To play that shot with his left hand and control it like that, John, it's so difficult to do. I used to play the odd shot left-handed, but I couldn't pull off a shot like that. Never in a month of Sundays.
Yeah, and it was quite strange when he first came on the scene, Ronnie. I remember him playing Alain Robidoux, the Canadian, and he played a couple of shots left-handed, and Alain took it as an insult, you know. But the thing is, if you've got it in your armoury to do that,
14.
then do it. Well, it's not inch perfect on this pink. This pink will put him 69 points in front with 75 remaining. So he's just looking for one more red after the pink. He tries to do a lot for position. All the reds are awkward. But the one he needs is in the middle of the table.
21.
This to go 70 ahead with just 67 remaining. Well,
27.
surprising.
21.
Certainly was surprising, but he's knocked the black into a more awkward position, which doesn't help Barry Hawkins. Just wondering if that red jumped when he tried that pot. Let's have a look at this here. That was a kick. Had to be a bad contact. Wasn't an easy pot, but definitely jumped the red there. Doesn't want to really open all these reds up here. He won't open them up, hitting it at that pace.
I'll tell you what, that ran as straight as a die. So we may have seen one roll off earlier on this evening, but Ronnie certainly trusted the table there, and it didn't let him down, it's fair to say.
Well, that is on. He can get through to it. So this for the frame.
Well, that was such a careless safety shot from Barry. Just to gift Ronnie the frame ball he needed. So he's going to go to that mid-session interval. As he started this evening, 2 frames behind. There you see it, 75 ahead now, 67 remaining.
Six in the frame.
And that's enough. Barry Hawkins concedes. He's looked at the scoreboard. Maybe he shouldn't have conceded. He only needed a couple of snookers, but it's too late now. Ronnie accepts it gratefully and goes to the mid-session interval, still holding that 2-frame lead. It's now 7-5.
Not so sure we'll have a chat this time. We had one after the first session, but the two of them very focused as they go back for a little chat with their respective colleagues.
Thank you very much indeed, Hazel. Good evening, everybody. And I'm sure, like everybody sitting live here in the Crucible, people sitting at home will be really looking forward to the next 5 frames. There's 9 frames played this evening. There's 9 frames played this evening. So quite clearly Barry Hawkins, who's played great today, to be honest, he has really dug in deep. He needs to win at least 2 of them just to keep himself in the match. The pleasure of being with the darling of Dublin tonight, Ken Doherty. What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, fantastic. Really enjoyed the frame so far. As you said, important, imperative for Barry to keep with O'Sullivan. There's no doubt about that. And keep the, as you say, a great long pot going in. Yeah, it's just to keep up his confidence and keep letting Ronnie know that he's still around. He's not going to go away easily. And that was a great opening red into the corner pocket. Just got a little straight on that black, didn't he? He still has the red just above the black, but he also has the red into the green pocket if he wishes. The only problem about taking this red just above the black, he's running away down the table. He could get out of position. This is a lot easier to stay on the black here. Oh, it was close.
Barry Hawkins, 8.
Well, he played it in such a way that he wasn't going to be leaving too much, and that may have sort of taken the focus off the pot a little bit more, but it was close enough.
Left a choice of reds for Ronnie if he wants to take a pot on. He can take either the 2 reds to the right of the pink into the yellow pocket there. Got a long way away for Ronnie. He's been potting a lot of long balls. Missed a few today.
Yeah, he looks a little bit perturbed, there's no doubt about it, and particularly I think it stems from the table and the cloth. He's not overly happy with the cloth, even though, you know, he has scored pretty heavily, but he has missed a few. There you see him, he actually checking to see can he grip the cloth there. Thinks it may be a little bit loose. And that was a nice shot, wasn't it? Excellent shot from Barry Hawkins.
I have to take my hat off to Terry Griffiths, Ken. I don't know about you. I mean, how he got Barry to be motivated, having...
8.
I'm talking about the semi-final now, when the score was 9-7 to Ricky Walden, and Barry literally couldn't pot a ball. I mean, Terry must have done a wonderful job to get him motivated, A, to win that match, and B, to get him in the right frame of mind to play in this one.
Absolutely. 12-8 down as well. 1-8 in a row. He's got great fighting qualities, there's no doubt about that. Nice little cannon on the red to leave this red into the left-hand corner pocket. 16. A little bit closer to the red with the cue ball than he would have liked, but still okay. Funny reading a lot of Twitter messages really before this final, as we see the overhead camera of the Crucible and what a wonderful venue it is. Yeah, a lot of people not giving Barry Hawkins much hope in this final, but he's certainly answered their questions and doubts the way he's played in the opening couple of sessions of the final. Remarkable. Hats off to him.
24. 25.
Appears to be a little straight on the red to get nicely on any colour. Just looking at the pink, or the red just below the pink, whether we can get onto that. Got a little bit of an angle, but the angle doesn't make much difference where the balls are, so just seeing if you can put the white where his cue is now to put the red in the middle. overscrewed it quite a lot, unless he's decided to play for the plant, which is probably on as well.
32.
So the plant it is.
Yes, good shot and left a nice angle on the black now. If he wants to go into the reds, and it's always good to go into the bunch, particularly when you have a couple of loose ones, because you always got more of a chance to be on those. And that's a wonderfully played shot, well played. That certainly opens up the frame now.
And the beauty of that shot, Ken, is stunned into the mazza. If you screw off the pack, the white comes back towards the black spot area. He couldn't have played that better.
.41.
Yeah, played for the middle red of the bunch of four, just under the pink. And when he
48.
pots this red, and that will certainly release one of those two reds that are very close together into the opposite corner pocket.
49.
57-point lead, so just a black, another couple of reds and colours, and he will close the gap once again to 1.
56.
Came into this session 5-3 behind. They've shared every frame so far this evening. This is a chance for him to win 3 of the 5 frames that have been played so far this evening, and to close the
57.
gap again to within 1. Barry Hawkins is yet to make a century in this final so far, but this is
63.
a dream chance, really. And the fact that he's left-handed, the only difficult red that's down on the balk line there, that's not difficult for a left-hander. So as long as he gets past the amount of points he needs to win the frame, you'd fancy him getting a century here.
.64. .69. .70. .77.
Excellent shot.
78.
Just slightly lost position in the last couple of shots there, but regained that now. He's made 33 centuries this season, Barry Hawkins, and having seen him play in the semi-final, people were saying, well, he's not a very good player, but that shows you exactly how good he is.
83.
Made 4 centuries himself in this tournament. This would be the first, should he go on to get one. Oh, what a shame, what a shame, what a great break of 83 though. He started with an excellent rebel on the top cushion, and he's back within 1 frame now, but he still trails by 7 frames to 6.
Not as one-sided as many people thought when we all woke up this morning. The man in Barry Hawkins' corner is this man, 1979 world champion Terry Griffiths. Well, Terry, first of all, let me just ask you this. What did you say to Barry yesterday when he was down? He looked out against Ricky Walden. Willie Thorne described you as the miracle man.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Barry Hawkins is the miracle man. I mean, he pots all the balls, and I think he earned the right to win the match by holding on, winning 7 frames in the first 2 sessions when his game wasn't there. I mean, the strength of his mind carried him through those sessions, and he earned the right then to play well in the end and win the match. So there's not much I could tell him afterwards, because he wasn't with us. he was like in another planet when he came off. You know, it was such a wonderful occasion for him to win that semi-final.
Was there something specifically wrong with his game against Ricky Walden early on, Terry?
Things we had to look at then and put those right, and he went out and he's a bit more comfortable. It's always about getting comfortable out there, and sometimes it's just the shots you're left. Sometimes you can have ones you like and easy ones, and other times you have half difficult shots, miss those, and then it just turns round a bit, you know.
You've seen him at the mid-session interval. What did you say to him?
Not a lot. He's very comfortable. He feels very comfortable out there playing. He's not too calm and he's not too excited. He's in a good place out there, so there's not much to say really, apart from to carry on and do the same things all the time. Because at the moment, when he goes out there, it seems to me that when he gets a chance, he's going to make breaks.
And what do you say to those people who woke up this morning and said this is all about Ronnie O'Sullivan, this is his final?
Well, it is his final, but it's also Barry Hawkins' final, very much so. And I'm sure Ronnie doesn't think that. He's got respect for Barry. And Barry, in the last few matches, hasn't started well, gone behind all the time. But I say, like, stay in the long grass like he did in the first 2 rounds, and then pounce on him at the end, because that's what he done against Selby and Ding, and against Ricky Walden. So, I mean, he's holding on there. Ronnie's playing very well, but there's 2 players out there, and if Ronnie does underestimate it, he may pay for that.
Terry Griffiths, the Miracle Man. Thank you very much.
Yes, wise words indeed from Terry Griffiths, 1979, of course, world champion here. A wise owl, Willie, man you played many, many times, but coaching Barry Hawkins now, of course, and all the players down in the Southwest Snooker Academy. There's no doubt he's certainly helped this man in his game over the last 18 months or so. Try to get the outside edge of that red. No real danger, of course. Really just coming around to have a look. Is there a possible shot to nothing on? No, nothing on. So back to its original position. It's quite a tough shot, this, Willie, because he's got to, as you said, he's got to almost take the paint off this red here.
I think so. Can you just put it up?
Yes, he'll risk it once more, won't he? He'll risk the thin cut again, and then he'll be warned should he not hit it. So he'll have one more try at this, and then play an alternative. That's where it was. That's where it is now.
Yeah. Happy?
Pretty good.
Just having a look. There's a couple of reds that could, one of them could go close to the pocket, so that's why he's taking an alternative safety shot here. That's an excellent return. And that's one of the great things about Ronnie O'Sullivan's safety game. Purposely wanted to keep the cue ball down behind the green on the right hand side of the table. Because of the red that's close to the right hand side cushion, it's a little bit more difficult to get it back to safety here. If you leave the cue ball down the left hand side of the table, there's a straight path back, but this makes it a little bit more awkward. Yes, played it well.
Yes, the red that's behind the black is in the way to play the thin cut into the corner. He'd play it if it wasn't. So he's only playing a safety shot here. It's a perfect angle if that red wasn't there, just to pot it and go around the back of the black, but he can't play it, so he may just have to play what Barry did on his previous shot, a very thin one. This is bringing the black into play, so whoever pots the next red, you'd say would get a sizable lead in this frame where the balls are now. Well, Barry's won that safety battle and won it well, because he put Ronnie in trouble on 3 occasions, and on the 3rd occasion he played a poor safety. Now pink and black in play. Barry would be disappointed if he doesn't get at least 40 from here. Whether he goes on to make a frame winning break, we'll know in about 7 or 8 minutes. These couldn't be any better, Ken, could they?
Yeah. Nicely placed, and doesn't have to worry about going into any reds for the foreseeable future. Wants to get this black open into both corner pockets. Put this red now. We'll do that.
8. 9.
Yeah, I think if he can put the black, just disturb that red that I have a little circle around, because if he nudges into that red, he's got the red just to the left of that is open back into the corner pocket. He can just play a little stun shot into that red if he feels it's the right shot. Well, didn't go for it on that occasion, and that may tell us that that red may be a little bit awkward, the one just to the left of it, but this one on the pink
16.
certainly pots.
17.
You couldn't believe this was the same player that was playing in the first 2 sessions of the semi-final. He looked almost frightened to play. Looked anxious when he got in the balls. He missed probably 30 or 40 balls that I'm sure all the snooker players in the audience would have thought, well, I could pot those, but he's
22.
Certainly a different player now. Looks in total control of his emotions. And make no mistake, the way Ronnie's played, he knows he's going to have it all to do. But let's not forget, Ronnie was a pro player 2 years ago, and he wasn't winning every tournament. We know he's the best player when he's playing well, but he, you know, like every player, he's vulnerable, he's beatable. But whether it'll be in this match or not, we'll know by tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I suppose what Barry has to do is just worry about himself and his own game, not really worry about who's in the other chair. Because once you're sitting in that chair, there's nothing you can do when you're at the table, and that's the most important thing to understand.
29.
The one thing he does very well, he
30.
takes what's on, always looking, mops up the easy ones, gathers up a good lead.
He's running out of reds now, though, Ken, and I agree with you when you talked about that little stun on that red. If he'd have played ball, that's what he's playing. So getting rid of this one now opens another red into the corner, so that's a pretty good shot.
40. 41.
I'm sure that red, just to the left of the black that's in the little pyramid, goes into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. There's a nice cannon on these reds here. That looks perfect.
$48.
Just wondering whether when he runs he missed the kiss on the red that's on the cushion. That's what he needs to miss. He's maybe screwing it in, so he's going across the face of the black, which could put the cue ball near the pink, which make things awkward. He's played it nicely. Didn't want to be hampered by the pink.
49.
Just needed to get hold of that cue ball enough to just slide it past the pink there to save him queuing over the pink. This now an excellent chance to level the match for the first time since the 4th frame.
56.
There you see, 52 ahead. We're still going to need a few more reds and colours yet, but the way the balls are positioned, you have to say he's going to win the frame here. This is extremely impressive stuff from Barry Hawkins. Looks very composed, got a nice pace around the table. Controlling the cue ball very well.
63.
I think he's actually playing better now than when he beat Ding and Mark Selby, Ken, isn't he?
Well, there's no doubt, you know, beating the world #1 Mark Selby and then of course beating Ding would have given him great confidence. And I think maybe the occasion of the semi-final, playing Ricky Wall and knowing what was at stake, getting into the final, playing Ronnie O'Sullivan, there was a lot of pressure on both players, and there's no doubt it got to them a little bit, but once they settled down into that match, he played his best snooker. He's continuing on with that now.
Got to be a little careful here. He still needs the red. Yes, I just wondered he might snook himself there, but played it nicely. Just trying to drift by those 2 reds, and he's got an angle on the black to get onto the one just below the pink. In the same pocket, just screw through the gap.
$77. 78.
After the net.
84.
Well, people were talking about the fact that Ronnie O'Sullivan could outscore Barry, the fact that he's been playing so well, but this next little caption we're going to show you after this black just shows you how well he's competing with Ronnie, not only on the frame scores, but there he is, he's only 1 point behind, so he's scoring exactly 92. The same strength as Ronnie, and Ronnie's had 2 centuries.
93.
So the points now are identical, but the key thing is Barry Hawkins is levelling the match. And what an amazing stat that is as well. When this ball is potted, they've potted exactly the same amount of balls. What a fantastic break. It's 5th century of the tournament.
100.
And it's a milestone really, because it's the 50th century of the tournament as well.
101. 106. 108. 111. 115. 120. 126.
Wait for the noise when this black goes in.
Excellent break of 135 from Barry Hawkins. He levels the match. It's now 7 frames each.
And not only is that the 50th century of this year's championship, it's Barry's highest break ever at the Crucible, so really is coming on strong. And Steve, what do you detect about Barry's ability to sense a little bit of weakness perhaps in Ronnie O'Sullivan this evening?
Well, he looks the fresher of the two, you know, and everybody talking about the fact he had that late night last night. He really does look like he's enjoying himself. He's got freedom in his cue action, and obviously if there was a little element of tightness in the round before, it's certainly been sorted out by Terry Griffiths. Barry Hawkins looks like he's having the time of his life, thoroughly enjoying it out there, and is comfortable in the one-table setup.
Indeed, it's amazing, isn't it? Remarkable when you think about the transformation from yesterday morning. But how important, John, that he seizes these opportunities today, now?
Very important, because he's on top in this session. He's definitely on top. Ronnie's weakening a little bit for whatever reason, might be a bit jaded or whatever, or that match took it out, who knows. But Barry Hawkins' game is definitely in a better state than Ronnie's is at the moment. Make the most of it while you can.
Stephen, I remember something you said in commentary the other day. You said, in snooker, you must almost focus on your own game, but you always have to keep an eye on the other fella as well. Is that difficult to do in reality when you're out there, or could you, particularly, able to put the squeeze on someone when you could see they were weakening?
You can sense things. Barry will obviously know that Ronnie's playing a lot of bad shots. For a start, that'll give him confidence. But you can sense in someone's body language. You see that Ronnie's in his chair, he's just fiddling around with his watch and things like that. He doesn't look focused in the chair, but Ronnie never does. You know, he could come out in the next frame and make a century. So it's hard to judge. You never really know if you've got Ronnie at all, which is difficult for Barry.
I mean, I agree with Stephen. There's going to be one session in this final where he's going to absolutely fizz, and he's going to play so good you hardly see a ball. So when he's not doing it,
particularly when you're bridging over that middle pocket. Difficult hitting down on the cue ball, of course, as well. Perfect side of the blue now.
Six. Thanks. 7.
Stephen Hendry in the studio just mentioned that Ronnie always looks a little bit out of sorts sitting in the chair, and he could more than likely come on and make a century.
14.
I wonder how true those words could be in a few moments, because these balls are perfect.
15.
And it's a very important time in the match, this. He doesn't want to go behind for the second time. He was behind at 3-2. He's been in front ever since.
22. 23.
Yeah, getting the awkward red out straight away. One close to the back cushion. Just frees up the black, particularly the cue ball, using that back cushion for positional play.
30. 31.
Well, I'm sure that boxing fans would have watched Floyd Mayweather last night winning a very, very close fight where they keep kind of punching and counter-punching. This is one of those matches, isn't it? Whatever somebody throws at somebody, somebody comes back at him.
39.
Yeah, it's great stuff, isn't it? Gonna need one good split on the reds. Possible break on 145. Ronnie won't be worried about that just yet. He wants to win the frame in this position first. He needs one good split to get ready for the counter-attack, and that looks okay as long as he's not too straight in this red
46.
into the right centre. Does he have an angle to get up top side of the blue? Cued it nicely, and that's perfect. It's a wonderful camera angle.
52.
Just looking to see if you can get through the gap of these two reds, because it'll certainly be the easier with the reds, but as you can see there, it's tight. Have a look at this little picture here. It's very, very tight. I thought he'd be playing that red because he's got a little bit of work to do with this cue ball. Just send it around the back of the red.
53.
And the reason it's a little bit of work, it was easy to overscrew that. As it happens, it's just the perfect angle to kiss onto the red next to the pink. Well, it's playing a hold it, but that's still the same thing. He just played up into that area. Beautiful break this, Ken, isn't it?
Yes, they've been absolutely inch
60.
perfect. Average frame time, less than 15 minutes.
61. $68. $69.
The round of applause from this knowledgeable Crucible audience tells you that Ronnie O'Sullivan has just passed the snooker's required stage now. How big can this century be? 133, the last frame from Barry Hawkins, the biggest of the match so far. This could be eclipsed in about 3 or 4 minutes' time.
Possible 141, but he'd be taking the pink, so possible 140.
$81. $82. $89. $90.
There you see it, 8 blacks, 1 pink, 3 blues. This has been absolutely top quality stuff.
Hold on. $97. $98.
Yes, great cheer from the Crucible crowd. Ronnie's 10th century at this tournament so far.
Well, what a shame he didn't eclipse the previous break of 133, but Barry Hawkins missed one long shot. It cost him the frame. The standard is superb. It's O'Sullivan now leading 8-7.
And that's a highly significant century because it's Ronnie's 128th at the Crucible, and that beats Stephen Hendry's total of 127. Response, shall we ask him? No. OK, let's just... These records are being eaten into, Stephen, aren't they?
Yes. It was only a matter of time, to be fair. That was one of obviously the cheerful things when Ronnie announced his retirement. Hopefully he wouldn't beat that, he wouldn't beat the maximums, he wouldn't beat 8 world titles.
He could do, didn't I? Really?
You did.
And then, make one mistake and all of a sudden there's that. Like a true champion, just when he could sense danger there, once again he raised it up, went through the gearbox, did it this afternoon from 3-2 behind to go 5-3 in front, and that was another example there. Absolutely brilliant break.
But it's something that we'll be discussing from the opening day, Steve, that very few people have been able to put him under pressure. And we saw in the game against Ali Carter, Ali made it 7 frames all. He missed a ball, a very key ball, and thereafter Ronnie was able to produce the firepower. He almost plays snooker like Brazil used to play football. You score 3, I'll happily score 4.
Yes, I mean, if you did make the analogy with a boxer, you'd have an iron chin. He really looks like he can soak up some punishment.
OK, back we go.
Yes, and just as you join us, Barry's let that one a little bit short, and O'Sullivan, you would have to say, straightforward opener here into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. Well, he's missed one.
That's about as far as Barry's missed a pot by in this match, apart from the very first frame. Only missed a couple when it was a settling down period. Since then he's been very proficient at that distance. Luckily for him though, he hasn't left anything easy. Didn't play the double, but he's just concentrating on the white.
Yeah, would have loved that red to stay closer to this bottom left-hand corner pocket, because that would have created a bigger problem for Barry Hawkins with a safety shot here. First glance, it looks like he's got away with that.
That's one thing that Ronnie's always been brilliant at. Ken, obviously you've known him and played against him many times over the last few years. He never wants to show if somebody has a run of the ball. He never kind of holds his hand in the air or shakes his head. I mean, Barry's been lucky on the last two shots he's played. He's been very lucky not to have left a pot. Ronnie never even showed any emotion whatsoever.
It's part of the game, isn't it? He gets it out of his head straight away. Yeah, I think he knows the value of not really worrying about it, because it can only affect you. Nothing you can do about it once the shot is played. No point in keeping it with you. You never used to shake your head, Willie, did you?
Not quite as much as Parrot. That's 3 shots he's got away with, because obviously if that cue ball had gone into the ball carrier, the red would have come further across. So he's missed the last 3 safety shots and got away with every one. So that's, if anything needs to give you confidence, it's something like that. All of a sudden Ronnie, as you can see, is very disappointed not to have got the cue ball back to Borg. So Barry may take this long one on. You can screw back up for probably the green or brown if he wants to do that. There's a couple of easier safety shots on, but he's in an aggressive mood, Barry. I wouldn't blame him for taking this on and screwing back into balk. Doesn't appear to like it though. But he's got to get that cue ball past the balk line. He hasn't done on the previous 3 occasions. Well, I don't know whether he looked at that planned. If he did, and it was a certainty, why not play for a colour?
Yeah, and it's just gone a little bit close to this ball cushion as we watch this plant go in once more. A couple more inches closer to the green, and he probably would have taken this brown on into the left centre.
I can only presume Kenny didn't even know the plant was on, because it looked like it was almost a certainty, didn't it? And he's played it as, you know, to get a good white.
Yes, I didn't see him come down the table. Normally when you have a look at these, it wasn't dead set, was it?
That was the pleasure of Hawkeye, showing you exactly as the balls were there. We couldn't have shown you that picture without Hawkeye. And there's a mistake from Ronnie. This time he will take the long one on.
Red doesn't cut. to the right centre, so he's taking it into the corner pocket. Not so much pressure on this, he won't be leaving anything should he miss, only the red. Purposely left it close to the... very difficult.
Well, Barry's played more poor safety shots in this one frame than he has done virtually since the opening frame of the match. But once again, nothing easy for Ronnie here. Far too thick, this mistake with this safety shot. When you consider he's trying to get the cue ball back into baulk, okay, without kissing the red, it would only just gone past the blue spot. Once again, O'Sullivan was sent in danger in the previous frame. He made 103. Barry can only smile knowing that he's just played a couple of loose ones in the last couple of frames.
Straight away, attacking the red just above the black to free up that black straight away. I'm not quite sure what he has the perfect angle to say in the black here. I have to go back up for blue.
Seven.
Yeah, would have loved to be in straighter on that red. He's going to need another good positional shot here. Red on the right hand side cushion, just making this a little more awkward. No, this, well, just needed to just miss that middle pocket.
11.
We see it, just needed to miss that, hit the cushion force and then skip by that middle pocket. But he's been very disciplined, trying to keep the pressure on Barry Hawkins.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 11.
He won't be too happy with that safety shot. He wanted it behind the green and close to the ball cushion.
You can see him bemoaning in the safety shot, suggesting once again the table was playing a little slower than he expected, but having commentated on all the tournament, the table looks to be the same speed as the other two, but obviously Ronnie's out there, he would know exactly what's happening. Clearly there, made sure he hit the safety shot a little bit harder, and unfortunately for him, it stuck it right over the corner, albeit dead straight. Now, Barry has not potted one of these long straight ones for 2 or 3 shots. This is a tough one. Yes, always missable those. Always missable. Just lost his way for a second. Having made 1-3-3, Ken, you thought he'd really got a foothold in this final and a chance to put Ronnie under pressure, and he just hasn't done it the last frame and a
Yeah,
half.
he's normally so good at that shot. He stays so still, but you saw from his back arm, it just a little bit of movement there. And that's why he's trying to put a bit more pace into the cue ball, just to bring it back a couple of inches to be high on the black.
One.
Just have a look at his back arm there. Yeah, you just see the little bit of movement, and that's why he's just come across the cue ball. And that's why he subsequently missed that red. Another excellent opportunity
6.
now for Ronnie.
Seven.
And this is where
14.
Ronnie is really good. Puts the heat on his opponent.
15.
Once he gets his nose in front, a couple of frames, he's very, very difficult to stop.
22. 23. 30.
One that's just slightly got away. Is he on this red? It's very close. Oh, great shot.
31.
Excellent shot, but again, short of pace on the blue. Gonna need another good shot here to get back on one of these loose reds. It's not bad. Not absolutely perfect. You see he's a bit straight on this black. Needs a lot of power again. Needs to slow up. Just.
44. 45.
Everything's going into the heart of the pocket at the moment.
Barry Hawkins posed
50.
a few questions when he made that wonderful century break. Well, Ronnie, at the
53.
moment, is coming back with the answers.
Yes, Barry went in front 3-2, and Ronnie made breaks of 76, 113 and 100 in about half an hour. Barry just showed signs again. He was getting control with 83 and 33.
60.
Ronnie all of a sudden is going to be streaking 2 frames clear
61.
again. But remember, there's 9 frames this evening. This is not the last frame. There's one more to go. And it'll be interesting to see what will happen. Of course, Ronnie could be taking a 3-frame lead into tomorrow's afternoon session.
67. 68.
And you see the break. 6 blacks, 1 pink, 2 blues. This has been superb because he's had to go in and out of balk.
75.
He's had to pull out a couple of tough pots and tough positional
76.
shots. But he's kept the break going wonderfully. And at the moment, he's just moving through the gears.
83.
Still a few sighs and moans and groans. He's still not completely happy. But at the moment, everything he's looking at is going into the pocket.
84. 88.
Well, this has been an incredible standard so far. This is going to be 3 centuries in a row.
91.
There's a little exhibition shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
95.
Century number 52 at this year's World
100.
Championship. Number 11 for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
106.
Well, he misses the black, but he won't be bothered. 106 break from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He puts another frame on the board and now goes into a 2 frames to lead.
It's 9 frames to 7.
Yes, unless you've been living on Mars, you'll know that he's only had 1 match before coming to the Crucible this year. Extraordinary stats when you look at them.
Oh, that's incredible. And to think that he's the world number 28.
Yeah.
I think if he wins it, it goes to 19. And if he did take a year off, he has to win this to make sure he doesn't have to qualify next year. So he's under a bit of pressure.
He's under a bit of pressure, but we've talked about pressure, guys, and what an amazing response. He did this earlier today, back-to-back tons once again.
Unbelievable, just dragged it up from somewhere, looking a little bit jaded there, played a few loose shots. All of a sudden you've had the temerity to get close to me. This is what you're going to get in return.
And
Yeah, you play if you can even hold a session.
okay, this is the last frame of the day. Back we go.
Well, he has got that draw in the session, of course, already, because they've played 8 frames and it's 4 each. But it's amazing, really, having seen Barry make the 1-3-3. The very next frame, he had a long pot, which is ones he's been knocking in for the last 10 or so frames, and he missed that one. Ronnie pounced with that 103, and then a couple of poor safety shots in that frame, and Ronnie once again made him, what, in my opinion, was the best break of the match so far, 106, and he was in and out of balk and had to play cannons. It was a really good break. It was a really tough break, and that was probably one of the best breaks in the match. Well, Barry Hawkins going to tomorrow afternoon session, 1 down or 3.
Foul. And a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Yeah. How's that, Barry?
Yeah, Barry again.
Bring it up.
Just trying to get the outside edge of this red. It's a tough shot. And there is the red down the right-hand side of the table. Both players are having a look at, and the referee having a look at the monitor. Yeah, that's where it was.
I thought it was about a ball and a half. No, it was about a ball and a half.
Yeah, Ronnie's saying it's a little bit tighter, but that's
I had a
pretty
look
close.
from the side, and it was about a ball and a half, so it might be a little bit closer. You happy with that? Yeah. Ronnie? Thank you.
He's got to be careful here. If he misses it this time, he'll be warned. He's missed it. So now that puts a bit more
Foul.
pressure on this shot.
Ronnie
And that's
O'Sullivan.
why he's coming down the end of the table, because he's definitely going to be hitting this ball. Almost half ball. He's going to try and leave the cue ball. There you see. Bahas's warning Barry Hawkins. He must hit a red, because if he doesn't hit a red this time, he will lose the frame. why he's reluctant to play this shot, because he wanted to try and leave the cue ball and the red almost straight, and he hasn't. He's left a slight angle. But these, we've seen before, are very, very difficult down the rails, and that's why Ronnie, I don't blame him for this, refusing the shot, because not only refusing the shot, but keeping Barry Hawkins under a little bit of pressure. Excellent safety.
I think if it hadn't been the last frame of the night, and he realises the importance of either taking a 3-frame lead or a 1-frame lead, he would have took that red on. But he's such a good thinker under pressure. He knew that it was missable and decided to play safety.
This looks very short, and he may be leaving a red into the right centre. This is quite a long way short. Red into the top corner, green pocket, but also the red that's on the pink spot goes into the right centre, and this will certainly open things up if Ronnie gets this.
This looks like he's probably screwing back on and off the cushion for the black, or he's played a little cannon for the pink. Not ideal. The 3 reds above the black. I think only the middle one pots in the corner. I'm not sure whether the bottom one does. So whatever cannon he has, he's got to get it just right. And that hasn't turned out okay, unless there's a plant. There's one available in the middle of hampered queuing. The plant's obviously not a certainty. I was surprised he played for the pink on the previous thread, to be honest, but Ronnie is a genius, so I'm sure he'll dig his way out of it somehow. Well, I don't know about you, Ken. That's the farthest I've seen Ronnie miss a putt like that, and he can't believe it, can he? I mean, he's been doctoring his tip all the way through this match, and having made kind of 4 centuries, there's not a lot wrong with his tip, surely. But he gave it a real good sing to before this frame started, and maybe that softened it up a little bit. But I've never seen him miss a putt by that far. This is the chance to win the session 5-4 and close within 1. And that would be a tremendous performance on the first day of your first ever World Championship final.
Yeah, he just had a quick look at the couple of reds below the pink. We'll pot into this bottom right hand corner pocket. A little bit short of pace, but still okay. He can
6.
Stay on the black here. Oh. Well, first sign of pressure from both players now.
Barry Hawkins 6.
I think both of them realise the importance of this frame, Willie.
So hard to understand, isn't it? They've both been in absolutely super form. But, you know, for Barry's confidence, obviously, to close within 1 would be an amazing feat, the way that Ronnie's played. And I'm afraid that was a twitch. That wasn't anything other than bad alignment, and probably just snatched a little bit at it. I didn't expect him to miss that one. But it hasn't done any damage. One thing that has impressed me, I mean, I don't think I've seen Ronnie play better safety than when he was with Ray Reardon. I don't know what year that was, when he won the championship when he was working with Ray Reardon, but that's the best safety Ronnie's ever played in a final at the Crucible, but this is a very, very close second. Believe it or not, that must have been a pot. Once again, hasn't left anything straightforward. He can get to the red that's to the right of the blue, but he's not playing that, so just another safety. And once again, you can see the way Ronnie's looking around the table to see where the white's finishing. Usually when he's not feeling good with himself, he just, okay, he's a brilliant safety player, but he knows where the ball's going to go, but he's actually interested to see where it finishes. He's really digging deep in this, what is the final frame of the evening session. And Barry at the minute is telephoning his shots in.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
He might as well be in the telephone box saying, I want to play that one, because he's struggling at the minute.
Yeah, he's just gone completely off the boil. Well, we've had 3 centuries in a row. It's nice to see that both guys are still human after all, Willie. Well, I think both of them realised the importance of this last frame.
That's amazing, isn't it? The last 4 shots he's played, he's hardly hit the right side of the ball.
He seemed to rush into that pot a little bit.
What a great picture of that. The almost the wonder of why it's going wrong all of a sudden. Ronnie's not pleased with that one.
1.
Well, if Barry gets a chance to win the frame, and he does do, he'll forget about all those last few shots, but he goes to bed having missed all those shots. He'll be suddenly thinking, what's going on? What a good recovery this is. Needed a little flick on the red, didn't get it.
6.
You can almost see Ronnie thinking, well, do I take this on or not? Because I've got Barry at the minute struggling. If he misses it, he knows he'll stick it up.
I wonder will he play the double here. Try and stay on the green there. Brown.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
Barry's got the same choice. There is a long pot on, but the way he's queuing at the moment, I'd suggest leaving it alone. Just looking if he puts the cue ball somewhere where it is now, he'll get Ronnie in trouble. Needs the red somewhere near where the red is on the blue spot. That'll be pretty helpful. Well, certainly in the middle of the table. I don't know whether he played the double or not, but he's not played it as he wanted. Look where the cue ball is.
Yes, and what's worse, he's left those couple of reds on the pink spot, the bottom one of the 2 pots in here, so free shot here for Ronnie. Must be close, if not in. Yeah.
And that'll be very disappointing from Barry Hawkins' point of view.
Should never have been on that red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
It almost rolled off.
I think Ronnie suggested it did. Well, it looked like he was hitting full ball can, didn't it? And definitely swung a little bit.
Almost missed it, didn't he?
Yes, if the green had been on its own spot at that speed, he probably would have missed it. And Barry's going to have to play a good safety. I think you can see the edge of this ball.
Sorry, Barry.
Yeah,
Okay, that'll do. Thank you, thank you.
Clever shot, that. Say clever shot, he'd have liked to have screwed it back another foot, but at least it's got the cue ball back in baulk. At this moment in time, you can't see Barry winning this safety battle, but that's what he's going to have to do to get back into this frame. He trails by 25 points. But such is Ronnie's safety in this last frame. Every time Barry comes to the table, he's got a difficult safety shot to reply. Trying to take the white over the pink spot and back into the baulk area, off the red to the right of the blue there. But he's got to hit it exactly right.
Yeah, something like that. The red that's closest to the right middle, of course, he's got to come off that perfectly. Missed the reds below the pink spot and then back up somewhere behind the green, but he must hit it perfect. Pretty tough shot.
That was the shot I fancied him playing, Ken, but he looks of trying to find an alternative if he doesn't think that's on, but it looks on from our commentary position. Maybe he's worried about kissing the blue on the way back. So he's not playing the shot we've suggested. He wouldn't have played this shot either if the black would have been available, so that's quite a clever shot really, with the black being out of commission.
Yeah, but he may find himself down in that position once more. It's a decent safety shot, but the problem is you just hand the initiative into your opponent's corner. Ronnie would love to. He's looking down behind the yellow, but he'd love to get down behind the brown, somewhere close to where the cue ball was before. You can come off the red that's closest to the right hand side cushion, just clip off that up the right hand side of the table. But he wants to try and keep that red as tight to that cushion as possible, because that creates problems for Barry Hawkins. And that's why he's tried to put another red safe, because he's sort of nursing that 24-point lead. That's pretty good from there.
And the perfect weight, because the red just above the pink will cut into the corner. And he purposely got it perfect weight to leave that not on. Use that cue ball to slow down. There's a couple of reds Ronnie can take on here and get the cue ball back into the baulk area.
Yeah, red next to the pink pots. Up behind the green with the cue ball. Well, he's left Barry now a half chance.
Well, his facial expressions are showing you, when you consider he's played that white into baulk again there. Obviously he's played the pot, but he's completely mistiming things at the minute. Ronnie's pace of the table at the moment is pretty good, but left a long one on this time, and there's just about enough room around the back of the black, but once again he's not cued well in the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test, isn't it? He's got to stay absolutely still on this shot. Bit of pressure on this one. Well played. Excellent pot.
Well, having seen the previous 4 or 5 safety shots he's played, that is up there with one of the best shots he's played tonight under pressure.
Three.
4.
Needs to get top side of the blue. The two reds that are above the black there, the two reds farthest away, are they both pot in the left-hand corner, but he'd love to get onto the middle red of the three that's just below the black, and then he can play that little cannon onto that red. Now, whoa, how's the angle? Unfortunately for him, no good, it's straight. Just 2 inches difference without making it a chance to win the frame there.
10.
Queued up very, very well. Perfect angle on the pink. Those two reds below the pink. Certainly the bottom one does pot.
$16.
We saw Ronnie O'Sullivan a couple of shots ago clip one of those reds onto the right hand side cushion. That may come to his rescue later on in this break. Barry is going to need those two reds if he's going to go and win the frame from this position.
17. $22.
Might be worth playing this screw shot hard here, because the other red could kiss the other red away from the black. I thought he was playing the top red there. He may have missed a trick there. He could have played the screw off that top red, because until he gets rid of that red, it's not a frame winner. If he played the top red and screwed off it and gone up for blue or pink, he'd have freed the red and black. So this time he has to get the angle right. And with the angle he has on the pink, there's every chance he could do just that. How's the angle this time? Amazingly enough, this is the longest frame 29. Of the match so far, the first frame over 20 minutes. But there's a bit of tension in this frame. And once again, you see he's played such a poor shot getting on that red. He was perfect on the pink, so should have got the angle.
30.
Well, he tried to bring the red and black into play there, but
36.
Fuller contact on that black. This is not easy. Back into a blind pocket. Well played. Here's her position.
37.
Not great, but has he got an angle? I'm potting this blue to try and bring another red into play. Well, I'm surprised he hit it so softly. Made sure of the pot, 42. Of course, but he could have used a little bit more pace there, been a little bit more aggressive and tried to bring this red a little bit more open into the table.
Yeah, the fact that he's 17 in front, he'll try and pot this red, but I would have thought he'd try and bring the other red into play, because it's missable, this red, but he is trying to do that. It was very dangerous to do that, but the red has not been brought into play.
42.
Because one thing was certain, if Barry Hawkins can come out of this session at 9-8, I mean, he'll certainly sleep better than Ronnie. I mean, Ronnie's played brilliantly, really. 4 centuries, a couple of other sizable breaks, and there's a possibility he could only lead 9-8. So Barry Hawkins will definitely be the more pleased of the two if he could just win this last frame. Well, the only way to make this last red easy is to play for the black, but he's stunned it in.
7.
So purpose. He's trying to leave an angle on the pink, and he hasn't done that. So he's going to have to play the blue now with a lot of side and try and rest the cue ball in between pink and black. So this will be a positional shot to play. And if you're not pleased with the table, you know, doesn't fancy it, so he's only going to be playing a safety shot after this pink. He's trying his heart out, isn't he, to win this last frame.
13. On your Sullivan.
No, he's played that very, very well indeed. Excellent shot. The fact that the red has come away from the ball cushion as well just makes this a little bit more difficult. Of course, the age-old problem, not hitting the red, getting it safe. Yeah, there was just enough room, and he's going to leave a free ball, and
miss.
This could be crucial. He's got the pink as a free ball, and that's an absolute disaster for Barry Hawkins there. Not quite sure why he had to play it so pacey.
Pink ball.
Needs an angle on this pink. Doesn't want it to be dead straight.
1.
Maybe just okay. Yeah, he's got a slight angle just to screw back. Miss the middle pocket where he's going to be cueing. Avoid the kiss on the brown. Watch the cue ball here. He's got to miss that brown. Great shot. It's not too bad. Maybe he's happy with that.
7.
Can't hit it slow enough to get onto the pink, so may decide to come all around the back of the pink and get onto pink or blue. If he plays it slowly, he could get onto the pink, but he's going to be virtually straight on the pink if he plays it slow. Decided to risk playing the slow shot, but as I said, he's going to be virtually straight on this pink. I didn't see the value of playing for the pink there at all.
8.
Bemused. Trying to get the cue ball just 3 or 4 inches to the right of the black. Oh, listen, has he played that? If he has, what a shot.
Well, you won't see many better safety shots than that. Played to perfection.
Well, as JV always says, it's not hitting them, it's getting them safe. He's hit it. Has he got it safe? Has he got it safe? He needs to pull up. Oh, we haven't seen Ronnie play too many of these deep screw shots. Judd Trump would love this shot, wouldn't he? But how's Ronnie going to play it? Well, he decided not to screw back, but to run through.
2.
Almost perfect, but the green doesn't look on.
Yeah, he hasn't had a look at the score, but this green is very important. He didn't go for that. He was trying to get a snooker behind the pink and black, and he may have played another absolute... What a shot he's played there.
Sullivan 2.
Yeah, a lot of who's and ahs in the crowd, but he didn't play the pot there. And that's a fantastic snooker.
Oh no wonder Barry's scratching his head. I mean, goodness me. We've seen two of the best safety shots we've seen in the whole tournament in the last 10 minutes. This is by far and away the longest frame, coming up to 28 minutes. But in some ways, it's been the most exciting.
Well, would you believe it?
3.
Well, it's Barry's turn to try and get the cue ball. His target would be to kiss the black, so he can play twice across. The brown's going to be naturally safe. It's just a case of missing the blue. He's got to miss the blue by an absolute fraction to get this shot right. Yeah, I'm not too sure it was on because the blue was in the way. But it's got plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball. There's only 7 points in it. This is cuttable, but I'm not too sure he can hold for the blue. Is it there again for the third time in this frame? Is it there again for the third time in this frame? Wow, good effort. Good effort, but...
Well, is there a gap? Can he get... Can he see this brown and even pot it? This would be unbelievable.
Oh, what a shot. He just had enough gap.
4. He has a quick look at the scores. He's 11 ahead. He just needs the blue.
Yes, a massive 4 points that for Ronnie, because obviously Barry needs the 3 balls. So even if he leaves this blue on, he's going to have to play a good shot to get the angle on the pink to be able to get on the black. So it was a massive 4 points, that was. Brilliant shot on the brown. Now the little tinker's trying to knock the pink safe, but he's not even hard enough.
4.
Well, will he play the slow roll, try and drop this blue into the corner pocket? He could try and play the snooker, of course, as well, but will he try and take this blue on? Decisions. Decisions.
Well, he did play it, Ken, but you know what's going to happen here. The white will be kissing the black and he'll be behind the pink again. Oh, he's underhit this. Oh, that was careless for Ronnie. This is cuttable in the middle. So much margin of error there, Ken, didn't he? The fact that the black was where it was, he could just play the cannon on the black. It was bound over the snooker.
Yeah, he just got too much side, but as you said, this blue was cuttable. Definitely worth having a go at this.
It's a tough safety shot, isn't it, to play it any other way?
Well, if he plays it hard, cue ball will definitely be coming down close to the pink, so as long as he doesn't undercut it. If he undercuts it, he'll definitely leave it up. If he overcuts it, he may still come out safe.
Good thinking. How's the cue ball? He needs it to bounce about 8 or 9 inches so he can get onto the black. Oh, it's tough. The pink he can pot, the black probably not. Well, there's Barry's friends and family, mother, father, sister. They've got their fingers crossed here because this is a huge frame. The pink's there. Well, it's decision time. Do you play the cutter on the cushion, or do you play the guaranteed safety shot?
Quietly, please.
It's a safety.
Oh, he's overhit it.
Barry Hawkins, 11.
He's overhit it. The crowd knew it straight away. Ronnie knew it straight away. He was up out of that chair
Right,
so
settle down,
quick.
please. Thank you.
Black for the frame.
Well, what a tremendous flat, what a tremendous frame. Both players have been very pleased with a night's work. The crowd standing ovation for these two great players. They've treated us some fantastic snooker. It's Ronnie O'Sullivan who takes a 3-frame lead into tomorrow afternoon's session. What a game.
What a game indeed, Willie. Absolutely superb stuff from these two finalists. And it's Ronnie who'll be taking that 3-frame advantage into tomorrow. And that really the best frame of this championship in final, at least, because clearly it meant so much to the two of them. Handshaking all round, and I'm sure he'll be very pleased with his day's work today. But it's certainly been a contest, no doubt about that. Barry Hawkins is playing a superb part in this final. Well, we are leaving the Crucible Theatre for the last time tonight, and we're returning across Tudor Square to the Winter Gardens. The lights still shining brightly over there, as indeed they are in here. And I've got our three wise men with me. And Steve, first of all,
could find.
how would you rate that final frame of the session in the overall context of the match?
Well, just such a fantastic frame, but Ronnie O'Sullivan worked his socks off to try and win that frame. It looked like Barry Hawkins had got out of jail, fluke in the green, but finally Ronnie just held himself together, and he did hold himself together, even though he looked quite casual as he walked off. That was a fantastic pressure pot on the black.
How crucial is that in the overall ambition scheme of both men?
Oh, that is massive. At 7-7, Barry Hawkins was potting the ball lovely, making breaks, looking like a, you know, and all of a sudden from his boots he's dragged up 2 centuries, and that last frame he was granite. For about 6 or 7 shots Barry was coming to the table. Every time he stood there it was trouble. He tried so hard in that frame to get it, and then that was a great black at the end. I mean, that was far from a gimme.
Hugely enjoyable final so far, Stephen.
Yeah, and you've seen what it meant to him, because he potted the long black and he actually stayed down queuing after he'd potted it, so he knew the significance of that. And a 3-frame deficit now for Barry is hard coming out tomorrow.
John, assess his contribution, Barry Hawkins, to this final so far.
Fabulous. I think he's competed. I think he's a bit like par on a golf course, Barry. He's one of those players that never goes away. He's always there. His game is solid. His safety play, plays the right shots. Yeah, he's missed a few. He's bound to. Everybody does when they win the championship. But he's somebody you have to beat, as Mark Selby and Ding Junhui will tell you.
Is this a much bigger test for Ronnie O'Sullivan that he might have imagined?
I don't think Ronnie would have gone in expecting to blast him off the table. He was prepared to compete, and I think that's why he's played as well, that he was prepared to compete. But Barry Hawkins can be proud of himself today. He's thrown everything at Ronnie O'Sullivan. You would expect that Ronnie O'Sullivan would produce, but really from Barry Hawkins' perspective, what else can he do? He's done his job, OK, didn't work. He lost both sessions, but not by much.
Yeah, Hawkins has never been a 6-1 shot. He's been much, much better than that today, John.
No, 7-1 O'Sullivan, 6-1. I mean, it was 7-all. I mean, there was not a million years was he a 6-1 shot. He's played so well today, and I agree entirely. He can be very proud of his performance. He should sleep well tonight. Stephen,
to what extent, if any, has the table speed dictated some of the play today? Has it been a factor for you?
I don't think Ronnie's been happy with it, certainly. But, you know, both players, it's the same for both players. And as Steve said earlier, they've adapted really well. There's been big breaks, and you would think that would affect it. You would think there'd be a lot of big breaks if the table was playing poorly. So, yeah, the players have just got on with it.
Steve, assess how it's been set up for tomorrow after today's 2 sessions.
Well, it would have been nice if there was just the 1 frame in it from that perspective, but I think, you know, Ronnie O'Sullivan deserves his lead, and the interesting thing is whether he can push on in tomorrow afternoon's session.
OK, it's been absolutely fascinating to watch today. Great stuff.